UFC Vegas 81 just recently wrapped up, and I'm going to recap the entire card. I'll start from the first fight of the night and then work my way up to the main event. Make sure you guys smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And let's get it started. First fight of the night, we saw Emily Ducote versus Ashley Yoder. It was a pretty clean win for Ducote. She outstruck Ashley Yoder nicely and absolutely destroyed her eyebrows. If you look, it's like menacing villain eyebrows, but there were cuts that Emily Ducote did to Ashley Yoder. She sliced her with some elbows brutally. Excuse me. And for the most part of the fight, the reach disadvantage wasn't a crazy significant thing. Ducote was able to throw more volume, put pressure on Ashley Yoder, and she got a pretty clean W. This brings Ashley Yoder to 8-9. Let's be realistic, guys. She's 36 or almost 36. She's probably getting released from the UFC after this loss. Ducote, she's a decent scrapper. She's got a fun style. She comes forward with pressure. She throws multi-shot combinations. She can close the distance on fighters. I mean, Yoder's a long southpaw, and Ducote was touching her up with big shots. Ducote deserves a lot of respect for the win. She ate some good straights too, but clean W for Emily Ducote. She's a more well-versed fighter than Yoder, and she got it done to start the night. Chris Gutierrez versus Alatengheili. Listen, things went right for Gutierrez, and they also went right for me, calling Gutierrez the lock of the week. He outstruck Alatengheili for 3 clean rounds. The low kicks, the movement, everything was on point for Chris Gutierrez. I feel like Gutierrez is a good guy to bet on against brawler styles who, don't have great leg kick defense, because you saw what Chris Gutierrez did to Alatengheili's leg. The calf looked extremely swollen. There was so many bumps on it, and they looked like the size of baseballs. Gutierrez chopped him up for 3 rounds, styled on him, kept it moving. I'll tell you this, I'm not sold on Gutierrez being a top contender in the world. I don't think he's beating the highest level of opposition at 135 pounds, but he's definitely going to take off the mid-tier guys. Like I said, more of the brawler style guys, guys that like to strike but aren't super good in the kicking department nor super defensively sound there. I think Gutierrez can definitely beat a lot of unranked fighters in the UFC, and honestly, after this win here, if available, I'm very open to the rebooking with him and Montel Jackson. I'd like to see them do that fight. I like the stylistic matchup still. Gutierrez moves extremely well. Montel will have the reach on him, so I want to see how it played out. Originally, when they were supposed to fight, I picked Chris. After this one, I don't know. Even though it was a really clean win, it's just like not that impressive. It's a clean W. It's control time. It's a good win. I won with the lock. I'm grateful for Chris Gutierrez getting a clean W. But yeah, I don't know. Certain styles I think will give him problems, and I just don't see him as a top contender in the world. Alatengheili's a tough out, and he's a brawler, somewhat sloppy at times, and he was trying to chase Gutierrez all night, and that is not something you can easily do. Gutierrez, clean W. Melissa Dixon versus Irina Alekseeva. Alekseeva came into this fight as an extremely live underdog, and in the first round, it looked like she was going to get the finish. She dropped Melissa Dixon. Now, something about Melissa Dixon we got to know. Good straight shots, really intelligent jiu-jitsu game, and she was able to control Irina Alekseeva, and even moments where Alekseeva had success, like the throw late in the fight. Melissa Dixon is able to get to her back from there. Dixon had the better jiu-jitsu here. She had the cleaner striking, good straight punches. Alekseeva hits hard and she wings power into her shots, but she's getting hit a lot down the center line. She's a brawler that's not that technical, or not really technical at all. The hands come low, and Melissa Dixon throwing straights was getting her way, and she got a clean win. She definitely deserved it at the end. She took out Irina Alekseeva and dominated using the grappling at the end of the fight too, which, you know what, I gotta say, Melissa Dixon is pretty intelligent jiu-jitsu grappling. Like, her grappling skill from top, her recovery of back control, good shit, high level shit. Melissa Dixon's quality. 32, so I don't know how far she's gonna take it, but I damn sure I'm interested for the ride on the way up. Good W for over Irina. Terrance McKinney, Brendon Marotte. Yeah, this fight was an absolute killing. It was a sacrificial lamb type of fight. Terrance McKinney dropped Brendon Marotte with a knee in the clinch in the opening frames of the fight, followed up with ferocious ground and pound, and got a first round stoppage. It was 20 seconds long. McKinney blitzed him, got him out there early. He's a super athlete. He hits really fucking hard, and he's going to beat a lot of guys that are not, especially not UFC caliber, not towards the upper echelon of the weight class, and really can overcome adversity, because McKinney in the first round is one of the most dangerous guys in the lightweight division. Maybe the most dangerous guy in the first round in the UFC. Maybe outside of like a Prime Ngannou, Because McKinney comes out like a bat out of hell in the first round. He's not losing first rounds for the most part. Things go against him in the second and third. He has a lot of success early, and he ran over Brendon Marotte. Good win for Terrance McKinney, but he was a 6-1 favorite, expected. Tainara, Lisboa, and Ravena, Oliveira. Lisboa's experience really showed in this fight. Now, Oliveira at the end of the fight finished on top, and she won that third round. But Lisboa had a lot of success in the striking and in the grappling in the first 2 rounds. Her Muay Thai game is pretty good. She's got some power. I'll tell you, though, the way that third round finished, I don't think her ceiling is super high at 135 pounds. She's 32 years of age, 7-2 as a pro. Oliveira in that third round was all over her. I just didn't love it. She got good Muay Thai, decent grappling and takedowns, some mild clinch transitional mistakes and re-engaging in the clinch when she wants to separate due to lack of high-tier experience. A higher-level girl is going to give her problems. But beating Ravena, Oliveira, good performance. Oliveira's young at only 26. She's a raw talent. She looked good in that third round, though. And she hit Lisboa with some hard punches, too. So I think Oliveira has a bit of potential. It's just she's raw right now, extremely raw. And Lisboa, is a high-level opposition for her, being Oliveira. And realistically, Lisboa and Oliveira, they're high-level opposition for one another. Once you jump them into the real mix of bantamweights in the UFC, I don't know how far they take it. I'm curious to find out, though. Lisboa has a good striking game, decent grappling, but I don't know how far she's going. Next fight, Darren Elkins, TJ Brown. It was the featured prelim, and these boys brought the heat. Specifically, Darren Elkins brought the heat, because he is the OG of OGs. His wrestling was the ultimate difference maker. Really, though, also his scrambles and positions are out of this world. He always ended up on top of TJ Brown because he never quit in any scrambles where TJ Brown is like, what the fuck? Brown got frustrated. Brown was very frustrated at the end of the fight, and he got locked in a rear naked choke and tapped out. He was pissed off that this fight wasn't going his way. He couldn't deal with Elkins' overall wrestling, scrambling, and just toughness. TJ Brown didn't have the goods for him. His wrestling didn't hold up. Darren Elkins scrambled like a madman out of any bad position and put TJ Brown in bad spots consistently, even when Brown looked to have the upper hand with moments, being a good athlete and a young, tough guy. I guess he's not that young at 33, but youngish. Darren Elkins at 39 is still in the UFC, and he's doing another fight. And he didn't take a ton of damage against TJ Brown. It was a dope win for Darren Elkins. Never sleep on this guy as an underdog, regardless of him being nearly 40. The dude's got an absolute hard bite. And Darren Elkins gave it hell in this fight. And I think he's going to be back for some more. Opposition-wise, I don't know who they'll throw him. I'd watch him versus Bill Algeo, even though I feel like Algeo is in a spot where he might be above that matchup. I don't know. Darren Elkins and him is still a cool matchup. I like that fight. I like that fight for him. Elkins Algeo intrigues me. TJ Brown, he can't turn that corner. And, he's more at the back end of 145, let's be honest. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash the likes. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Christian Rodriguez, Cameron Saaiman. Okay, I'm going to say a couple things first. Christian Rodriguez missed weight by an unacceptable amount of 4 pounds. And in the third round, it was a big difference maker, showing he didn't cut that extra weight and he had more gas. So really, he was up half a weight class on Cameron Saaiman. And when the fight got late and the hard weight cut really sets in, Christian Rodriguez had the gas to go because he didn't cut the last 4 pounds. So he gets a win. He gives Cameron Saaiman his first loss. It's unfortunate, man. This weight missing shit is unacceptable because Christian Rodriguez is very good for 135. But at 145, he is way too small. So he needs to get the proper nutritionist. He needs to get a new weight cutting manager. I don't fucking know. All I know is Christian Rodriguez cannot be missing weight at 135 because what that does is give you a significant unfair advantage over an opponent. And now Christian Rodriguez is beating Cameron Saaiman. But if Rodriguez really was at 135, how do we know how the fight's going to go? We don't. Christian Rodriguez won with a substantial advantage. There was a handicap for Cameron Saaiman. He cut the extra amount of weight. 4.5 pound difference. That's a lot of weight cutting. And Cameron Saaiman's the taller guy of the two. He drained himself down for this fight. Christian Rodriguez has got to figure out the weight cutting. Because he's got good skills. He can kickbox. He can wrestle. He's strong as fuck. He's hard to lock in bad positions. There's a ton of potential. He's 10-1. He's good. It's just the weight not being on point is an unfair advantage. He sacrifices 25% of his purse, loses any chance of a win bonus here. Hopefully they give it to Saaiman, who gave it hell. It was a good fight. Yeah, unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. We'll see. Christian Rodriguez. Next fight on the card, it was Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski. Holy shit, this fight went quick. Michel Pereira dropped Petroski with one straight punch, and Petroski was done. He covered up, and he said, goodbye, good night, this is over for me. Pereira hits really hard at 185. I think this is his weight class. Because it's not like Petroski is known to be chinny. He got knocked out by Aaron Jeffrey a while back. It wasn't like this, though. I believe it was like a knee in the clinch, more of like a flurry of shots. It was one punch from Pereira, and Petroski was done. Now, I think that Michel Pereira has found his weight class. He needs to stick to 185. I think he's a very scary addition to 185. His power is more power. His power is more power. What the fuck am I saying? His power is better. His physical strength is better. His speed advantage over these guys is going to be evident. He embarrassed Andre Petroski, and Petroski's a very good grappler. One shot from Pereira, and the fight was done. So, absolutely sick win for Pereira. I'm excited to see where he goes from here. Names on who he fights. It's like, are we rushing him up into the rankings? I think he needs one more outside of the rankings. But there's big opposition waiting for him at this weight class. For Petroski, first UFC loss, he sent back far, guys. That was a bad L to take. The way he lost was rough. Talk about another rough loss. Jonathan Martinez whooped Adrian Yanez. It was one-sided, beat down central. The leg kicks of Jonathan Martinez out of southpaw, it's like Yanez couldn't even figure it out. There was nothing there. He couldn't stop any of it. His leg was getting destroyed. And he ends up getting TKO'd in the second round with a leg kick stoppage. But there was serious damage in the first round, and it looked like the fight might end. Yanez could not close the gap with his hands nearly as well as, maybe I anticipated that he would. Because Jonathan Martinez was sniping him with straight shots, too, and picking the legs apart. Jonathan Martinez's kicking skills are out of this world. I'm telling you, I think it's some of the best leg kicks in MMA. And he just beat Yanez, who was supposed to be the prospect on the come-up. Everybody was high on him when he was fighting Rob Font, including me. And I was still high on him here. And I've always thought Martinez is pretty good. But Martinez killed him. Martinez has turned the corner. I think Martinez is really deserving of a big fight. He's got to get some type of ranked opposition. Because the way that he beat Yanez was menacing. Let's see. UFC rankings. Who do we have for him? Who do we have? Let's see. All right, we're at bantamweight. He just beat the number 14 guy. He was number 13. He called out Marotte, which I love the balls on that call out. I don't think he's getting that. Man, I don't know why. I'm kind of intrigued by him and Pedro Munoz to avenge his boy, Chris Gutierrez. I think Jonathan Martinez is better than Chris Gutierrez for sure. He's more vicious. He's more violent. He's going to make it higher up the ranks. I think you do that. That's the fight I'm rooting for. Martinez versus Munoz. For Yanez, man, I don't know. Somebody outside of the top 15. He needs a rebuild. He needs some time off. I know Jonathan Martinez is some of the best leg kicks in MMA, but I think Yanez, I should say, he's got to work on some of these defenses, man, because those little holes in this modern era will completely derail you at the highest level. He can get away with it against the other guys in the division, the back-end guys. He hits hard. He'll knock a lot of dudes out. but he's got to touch up some finer details if he really wants to become a threat at the upper echelon of the weight class. Like, think about Pedro Munoz, great leg kicker. That's a hard fight for Adrian Yanez, too, in the rankings. Jonathan Martinez is nasty with it, maybe the nastiest with it. But what I'm saying is, Yanez to win at this level, consistently especially, not just off, occasional one-punch KOs, he needs to close some hole gaps, man. He needs to close some gaps. He needs to bad. He needs to shut some holes up. So we'll see what he does. I hope that he improves because I like Yanez a lot. Co-main event, Viviane Araujo, Jennifer Maia. If I could have, I probably would have slept during this fight. All right, I'm not going to shit on it that bad. It wasn't a horrible fight. It was just overly competitive, and I saw a lot of people complaining they thought Maia won. I honestly didn't really think Maia won. But I can get the argument. She did have decent striking moments, but I feel like whatever Araujo hit her, it was harder punches. I think Araujo looked stronger than her in the grappling positions and controlled there. I thought she was the rightful winner, but at the end of the day, this was not my favorite fight ever. And no, I'm not going to rewatch it to rescore it. I will be honest with you. I'll eventually have to rewatch this fight when one of these girls fights again, and I'll deal with it at that point. But I'm avoiding it for a while. I think that Araujo's grappling control is good. Her athleticism's real. She's still an upper echelon girl at 125. It's like, now I got to be Mr. Matchmaker. Mr. Matchmaker. Let's see. Let me matchmake real quick. What am I doing next for her? All right, so Araujo's ranked 11. Jennifer Maia was ranked 9. Man. Shit, they might have to go behind. Tracy Cortez Araujo. Natalia Silva Araujo. I was going to say Macy Barber, but they share a recent common opponent of Hebas. And Macy Barber won that fight against Hebas. I could see Lauren Murphy. And I think Araujo beats Lauren Murphy. For Jennifer Maia, this might be a rush, but I'm kind of thinking maybe Karine Silva for her, who's number 15 right now. We'll see what the UFC decides to do, but I wasn't impressed by Maia, and I thought Araujo deserved it at the end. So good performance. Both girls 35 plus. Araujo's nearly 37. I don't know about them becoming champs. I would honestly bet against that. But Araujo can still get some wins in this division, and it was a clean W, I felt. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. This main event was absolutely insane. Okay? Edson Barboza won the fight by decision. For those that don't know, well, I'm spoiling it now. You probably looked up the results before watching this video. But if you haven't, now you know. Sodiq Yusuff should have probably knocked him out in the first round. He unloaded hellish amounts of punches, nearly having Barboza knocked out on multiple occasions, ground and pound from the top. Sodiq Yusuff hits hard. Edson Barboza eats a tremendous punch, specifically at 145 pounds. The chin is real because Yusuff was landing bombs, throwing ferocious ground and pound. That's a 10-8 round, and there's zero argument. Lock that in the 10-8 category. But the second to the fifth round was mostly Edson Barboza outstriking Sodiq Yusuff and moving on him, avoiding big shots. He came back well. The kicks were there, even some jabs. He rocked Sodiq Yusuff. I'm like 80% sure it was the fourth round, but it could have been the third round. He threw the spinning wheel kick, and it finds the head. And it looked like Yusuff was out of there, and Edson Barboza chose to engage him in the grappling and throw shots. But I think if he would have just let him stand up, he probably would have knocked him out on the feet. But Edson Barboza gets unanimous decision. 48-46 for two judges. 49-46 for one. Whoever that judge was that scored that fight, 49-46. Can I ask you something? What is a 10-8 round then? Because I don't know then. I don't think 10-8 rounds exist then. If you're telling me that the 10-8 round was not the first round between these two, there is no 10-8. Because Edson Barboza was nearly knocked out. Let's see. Do we have the scorecards? Let me see here. I'm getting the scorecards. I'm digging for them. Let's see if I can find them. Okay. Who scored at 49-46? Chris Lee. That first round as a 10-9 is not acceptable at all. That's a 10-8. Period. Period. I know it doesn't affect the outcome of the fight, but bad judging like that, not giving a 10-9, or excuse me, not giving a 10-8 there, but giving Alexa Grasso a 10-8, the fuck is going on? The judging needs more consistency. That is a 10-8 round if I've ever seen one. Bisping was trying to argue it was a 10-7. Now, I think that's a stretch, but for fuck's sake, that's a 10-8, absolutely. Serious ground and pound. Nearly having Barboza knocked out. What the hell are you looking for a 10-8 then? I don't know. That makes no sense to me. So yeah, Chris Lee, you need to be disciplined. I'm bringing the discipline to you. Unacceptable. Absolutely horrible, I would say. That's terrible. You cannot be scoring that at 10-9. Because then a 10-8 round doesn't exist. And if a 10-8 round doesn't exist, then what the fuck are we doing here? The 10-point must system must go then. That's a 10-8. Absolutely. Doesn't affect the winner, but what if it did? What if it did affect the winner? You know, judging mistakes like that, they can lead to serious problems, man. Luckily it didn't, but it definitely can. All right, I want to also preview who I think could be next for Sodiq Yusuff / Edson. So Edson Barboza just beat the number 11 guy in the world while he was ranked 13. Kind of like the Calvin Kattar fight. I know you can say, oh shit, what about Giga Chikadze getting beat by Kattar? Fair. That could be a red flag. But then Edson's got to fight backwards. Like, does he then fight Lerone Murphy after beating Sodiq Yusuff? I kind of like Sodiq Yusuff, Lerone Murphy. I think Sodiq would knock him out. Sodiq versus Dan Ige is also a cool fight. Edson's in a weird spot, man. He's in a real weird spot. Movzar's booked with Arnold Allen because Movzar would be another choice. Like, you can't give him Bryce, who's number 10. Yeah, I don't know what they do with Edson. Maybe they wait a little bit, or maybe they go backwards for him, or you throw him some major risk fight. The major risk fight being, I don't know how I'm fucking forgetting it. The major risk fight being the Calvin Kattar matchup. But entertainment value would be high. It's a good main event. And Edson's riding a 2-fight win streak, so it's not crazy to say that that's next. For Sodiq Yusuff, though, I don't hate the idea of him fighting Lerone Murphy next. But I don't know if they do that to Lerone because they know Sodiq Yusuff's a gamer. He's good as fuck. We'll find out what the UFC does. Either way, Sadiq's got a bright future. He's only 30. And Edson Barboza is still an elite guy at 145. He's still top 10. No argument about it. Mad impressive. Especially now at nearly 38 years of age. He's been around forever. I remember when he got knocked out by Cowboy. I was there in person. And look at him now. Doing his thing at 145. That was UFC Vegas 81. I do want to give you guys a review of my picks. I was not impressed by my own performance with these picks. I won't lie to you. I went 4 wins and, 7 losses on the night? That's shit. That's really shit. Now, lock of the week hit, so I got to be grateful on that. It's 8 locks in a row, but 4 and 7 pisses me off. Okay, Edson Barboza, Sodiq Yusuff. I had Yusuff, but honestly, this one I can't be that mad about because Yusuff almost got him. Like, Yusuff gave it hell. Co-main event, I had Maia over Araujo. Some people say it was controversial. I didn't think so. It was close. It is what it is. I'll take the L there. I had Yanez over Martinez. Martinez kicked his ass. I'll eat the fat L in the face. I had Petroski over Pereira. That is horrible because he got ran over. Not a good pick. Horrible pick. That right there, fuck it, bro. Striker versus grappler. If my fucking striker got any bit of hips and my grappler can't punch, give me a striker from now on. Saaiman Rodriguez. I'm not that mad about this one because of the weight miss. The fact I know Saaiman's young and still a little raw. But yeah, the 4 pounds made the ultimate difference. But it's a loss. It's a loss. Loss with TJ Brown, Darren Elkins. I should have just blindly picked Darren Elkins over TJ Brown, who always loses when the step of competition is a little higher than, mid-tier. So, should have known on that one. This one I'm annoyed at. Especially him getting finished. That was annoying. So, if you look, with the main card, I did horrible. My worst main card in a very long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 05, then 06. 6-fight losing streak ending out the card. I'm bringing fire now with 294. But I was good on the, regular prelims. Tainara Lisboa over Oliveira. Perfect call. Boom, we're good. McKinney over Marotte. First round. Yes, boom, we're good. I had Alekseeva over Dixon. Underdog lost. I'll eat that on the chin. Alekseeva had some big moments in the fight. Gutierrez, the lock of the week over Alatengheili, worked out perfectly. Emily Ducote over Ashley Yoder. You know what? Worked out perfectly too. So there was some absolute steam early, and I felt like the Mystic Mac to start the night, and then it all fell apart on the main card, which I feel like is unusual for me. But hey, dust myself off and get back and ready for next week. This is just part of the game. Some ups and downs. But you know what? The lock streak still stands at 8 in a row. So let's fucking get it. 294 going down next Saturday. I'm dropping the picks for it Sunday. So it's tomorrow, at least, you know, the day after the day of this recording, which is October 14th. So I'll be dropping the UFC 294 full card predictions. Make sure you guys tune into those. Don't write me off for one rocky night, because you guys know I bring the fire consistently. And that 8 lock streak ain't from, just pulling bullshit out. Make sure you guys smash the likes. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn the post notifications on too. I hope you guys enjoyed the week's worth of content. I enjoyed it a lot, and it's been a pleasure chatting it up with my people all week long, especially in that fight companion. That was a blast. Subscribe if you're new with the post notifications turned on. Don't just put them on personalized. Put them on all so you don't miss a video. Let me know what you thought of the week's content / the fights in the comments. And if you have nothing to say in the comments, please enjoy the content as always. Drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Much love, my people. I'm going to hop up out of here, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.